Okay, back once again. Hopefully I'll be able to get through this without any problems. But this is going to be a rehash of a few of the things we went over in the past. I just felt like it was time to get some things refreshed in our memories. We will be going over some of the things, like I said, already put out earlier. And we're going to start with some of the words from Emmer De Vattel, some of the things that he's got in his Law of Nations book. A nation or a state is, as has been said at the beginning of this work, a body politic, or a society of men united together for the purpose of promoting their mutual safety and advantage by their combined strength. From the very design that induces a number of men to form a society which has its common interest and which is to act in concert, it is necessary that there should be established a public authority to order and direct what is to be done by each in relation to the end of the association. This political authority is the sovereignty, and he or they who are invested with it are the sovereign. Excuse me. It is evident that by the very act of the civil or political association, each citizen subjects himself to the authority of the entire body in everything that relates to the common welfare. The authority of all over each member, therefore, essentially belongs to the body politic or state, but the exercise of that authority may be placed in different hands according as the society may have ordained. If the body of the nation keep in its own hands the empire, nation, country, whatever you want to call it, or the right to command, it is a popular government. A democracy if it entrusts it to a certain number of citizens. To a senate, it establishes an aristocratic republic. Finally, if it confines the government to a single person, the state becomes a monarch. Okay, let's take a few seconds here to go over some definitions on a few different words. Popular, as an adjective found in Merriam-Webster's. 1. Of or relating to the general public. 2. Suitable to the majority, such as a. Adapted to or indicative of an understanding and taste of the majority. To be. Suited to the means of the majority. 3. Frequently encountered or widely accepted. 4. Commonly liked or approved. Okay, so let's take a look at popular as an adjective found in etymology. From the early 15th century, popular, public, commonly known. From the Old French populaire, and directly from Latin popularis, belonging to the people, general, common, devoted to or accepted by the people, democratic, from populus, the people, the meaning of or pertaining to the people, depending on the people, especially the common people, is from the 1540s. The meaning suited to ordinary people, easily comprehended, is from the 1570s. In English, hence, of prices, low, affordable to average persons, is from 1859. The meaning well liked, admired by, or enjoyed the favor of the people is attested from the 16th century. Of art, entertainment, etc., favored by people generally from 1819, such as a popular song. So related words are popularly, popular, front, popular front, such as coalition of communists, socialists, and radicals. And that's from 1936, first in a French context. Popular is not defined in Black's law. So next, let's look at the word proper. It's also an adjective as defined in Merriam-Webster's. 1a, referring to one individual only. 1b, belonging to one. 2, belonging characteristically to a species or individual. And I skipped some that weren't necessary. So 6, strictly limited to a specific thing, place, or ideal. And 8, marked suitably right, marked by suitability, rightness, or appropriateness. Oh, and that's the one that's really important because we saw that it also can apply to a species such as mankind. Okay, so proper as an adjective in etymology from the 1300s, 13th century, I'm sorry. Pre, adapted to some purpose, fit, apt, commendable, excellent, sometimes ironic, from Old French propre, own, particular, exact, neat, fitting, appropriate, from the 11th century, and directly from Latin proprius, one's own, particular to itself, from propriva, or the individual in particular, from ablative of privus, one's own, individual, related, properly, properness, as an adverb, very exceedingly, from the 15th century, but since the 19th century, the use is considered vulgar. From early 14th century, as belonging or pertaining to oneself, individual, intrinsic, also as pertaining to a person or thing in particular, special, specific, distinctive, characteristic, also what is by the rules correct, appropriate, and acceptable. So from the early 15th century, as separate, distinct, itself, meaning socially appropriate, decent, respectable, is recorded by 1704. Okay, now for that I question in De Vattel's words. Let me start with this. The political authority is the sovereignty, and he or they who are invested with it are the sovereign. Okay, so what does that make us, we the people? Well, again, I'm trying to use logic here. And the Constitution of 1870 or 1787 with the Bill of Rights of 1791 that determined that we were to be citizens and or nationals owing an allegiance to our employees. In my opinion, we allowed them to turn the table on us. Question to think about here. Since when are employees allowed to demand that their employers give an oath of allegiance to them or a pledge of allegiance to them? Shouldn't it be that they owe us, their employers, that oath or pledge of allegiance? Next question, should it be that we, the people, retain and be seen as the sovereign and the representatives become the citizens and or nationals? Just something to think about there. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Excuse me. If the body of the nation keep in its own hands the empire or the right to command, it is a popular government. Okay, so again here I'm trying to use logic. And I think the word popular was the wrong word to use here, as any government can be seen as being popular, even a monarchy. It all depends on who you're speaking with in the long run and how they look at different governments. So I think the correct word would have been proper. As we've seen above in the definition of the word, we saw that it means appropriate for the individual in particular. So it would have been appropriate to each and every one of us. Think about that for a time. If Vattel had used the word proper, how would that have changed anything? Or would it have changed anything? Next question. Which type of government would recognize we the people as being sovereign? Well, my research leads me to conclude that it would and could only be a true republic and government, not a republican form of government. For example, a federal government. Any and all governments can be seen to be a form of republic and government. It's all you got to do is look around the world and see how many different republics there are and what their form of governments actually are, and then you can determine what that republic actually is. If you've got a communist regime in place, then that republic is a communist republic. I'm just thinking logically again here. So do we remember the definitions of and the differences in a Republican government and a federal government? Let's review them to refresh our memories. Republican government, a government in the Republican form, a government of the people, a government by representatives chosen by the people. Okay, that's very simple and straightforward and easy to comprehend. As we will see, a federal government is something entirely different. Now, I didn't put everything of what a federal government is because it would have been too long. I just took the parts that was necessary to help you comprehend what it is. Federal government, the system of government administered in a state formed by the Union, as in one nation, or confederation of several independent or quasi-independent states. Also, the composite state so formed. And again, the federal government, by definition, is a nation state. And all the different commonwealths and states that signed up is what forms that one nation. Okay, here comes the important part of it. In a federal government, on the other hand, the allied states form a union, not indeed to such an extent to destroy their separate organization or deprive them of quasi, so appearance, sovereignty with respect to the administration of their purely local concerns, but so that the central power is erected into a true state or nation, possessing sovereignty both external and internal, while the administration of national affairs is directed and its effects felt not by the separate states deliberating as units, but by the people of all, in their collective capacity as citizens of the nation. So do you and can you see how different the two types of governments are? Do you still think that restoring a federal government is going to give we the people real freedom? I'm of the opinion that those calling for the restoration of the federal government are one of three things. One, ignorant of the differences between the two types of government from lack of good research. Two, do not care about the difference, are comfortable accepting and living in that comfortable lie that this time we'll get it right. Three, have no real problem with the continued deception of the people so long as they can keep lining their pockets with the hard-earned money of the people. So that's enough on how I see all this. How you see it all is what is really important. Share your thoughts, even if it means calling me names. I can handle it. Who knows? You might share something that causes me to see all this completely in a different light. So until next time, thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to watch this one. Know that it is much appreciated. I do believe Father God will continue to open the eyes of more and more of our brothers and sisters, that He will lead them to better comprehend how the words have been used to deceive so many. Oh, I apologize. And with that comprehension, they will turn away from the evil that is currently controlling most of the world. God bless you all. You all are in my prayers, and I hope you will keep me in your prayers. Remember to follow, like, and share on all your social media, but most importantly with family and friends in other countries. And never ever forget that we're in a global spiritual war, good against evil. Let's get it right this time. Again, thank you and God bless you.